Hey guys and girls, it's Nathan here from the B.Invested headquarters, and today I want to get all legal on you guys. Obviously, over the years, I've been a part of over 10,000 real estate transactions. Seen a lot of crap stuff out there. Heard lots and lots of stories from our community and the people coming through, like their bad experiences out there in the marketplace, things that have gone wrong, etc., etc. There are lots of things that have happened over the years that I've been witness to, seen to, whatever, just by sheer exposure within the market, because I eat, sleep, and what else? Property. So looking at it, I want to look at a part of our April Fool's Month, looking at foolish things that people do when it comes to the legal sides of their properties and their portfolio and their position. So I made a very strategic decision when I first started the business 10 years ago to ensure that we were called B.Invested and not B Property or anything like that, any silly names, because we're an investment firm. I'm an investor. I treat my investing like a business, and I try to encourage everyone to look at it holistically from that approach as well. So it's not just specifically about the property that you need to watch out for. So I see lots of things where people, and today I'm going to specifically be talking about foolish things that people do when it comes to their legal side of things. So sometimes I see people try and use a conveyancer. The lawyer actually does, if you have a conveyancer and a lawyer, or a conveyancer and a solicitor, there is different roles, responsibilities, or things that the lawyer or the solicitor can do over the conveyancer. Some of those things are holding funds, talking from a legal perspective, being able to give legal advice, so on and so forth. And I've dealt with a lot of lawyers over the years. I've seen a lot of crap ones out there, and I've seen a lot of people that actually try and make silly mistakes when it comes to their contracts, right? What you're dealing with here is millions of dollars worth of assets, and it's not just a matter of the asset of what you've got today, it's a matter of what is that asset going to be worth in the future. Let's say you've got 10 properties at $250,000 each. You could be going, it's $2.5 million, right? Could be one property at $250,000. It could be a property at $500,000. But what you've got to think about is, what is that property going to be worth in the future, and how much profit are you going to derive from it? So let's say the property is worth $1 million in 10, 15, 20 years time. If something messes up, that could affect an ongoing effect. So it's important that as you're structuring your portfolio, getting advice, getting legal stuff, the difference between a conveyancer and a lawyer, I never go with lawyers. Making sure that I'm understanding what my goals are, so I can actually align acquisitions and the way that I control my position towards that. Other aspect of it is not just about the purchasing, not just about the sale. Some things that a lot of people don't realise. I've seen throughout transactions people get very logical. Some people are very calm. Some people are very analytical. Some people are very emotional and stressed. It's important to have a high emotional intelligence, so an EQ when it comes to investing, and I always try and look for the opportunity. They always say to be aware of the silent guy, because the silent guy observes and watches, and then at the right time strikes. And when I negotiate on my deals, when I do deals, I always look at every single opportunity and option and vantage point of the situation. So I see people when they buy a property and they go, I can't get finance ready, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. They just get scared, or they might pull out, or whatever. But I look for the opportunity. If there's something wrong, I love when something's wrong, because I don't know if you ever realised that I get more excited at those sort of times, because there's always an opportunity out there in a marketplace. And looking at, in the current market, if a property's under contract, I always try and get the lawyer or the solicitor to try and manipulate, and not manipulate, that's probably a bad word, but like try and control the deal to make it more beneficial from my perspective as a purchaser. So some of the things is trying to play around with the terms of when to settle the property. We try and push time out into the future for our advantage. Sometimes people go, well, the deal's off, or it can't work because the lawyer said so. Well, it's like, well, if your lawyer's proactive and you're proactive with the instructions that you're giving to your lawyer, well, then maybe you can get the situation and being able to put it to your benefit. So extending the time of settlement, using that pest and building inspection to your benefit Every time I get a pest and building inspection, I always go back to the agent, and then I go back through the lawyers to try and negotiate a price off. Even if everything's perfect, I want to get the lawyer to try and push that price down, or get me some extra terms, or give me something that's a bonus. Because when you're buying a property, it doesn't just stop at the day you sign the contract, it continuously happens until the day you settle the property. So as an investor, you need to look at what are my legal rights, what is my legal position, what are my legal opportunities, and what I can do. So always try and negotiate, especially in this market. I know that things are tough out there, and we can use it to our advantage. Pull out all the stats from the media, all those people getting scared, and use it to obviously get a better result for your position. Another aspect to look at is obviously the structuring when it comes to the legal side of things, right? Because it could cause a greater problem down the track, whether you're buying, tenants in common, or joint ownership, or buying it on your own self, buying it under a trust. What's the structuring aspect? What are the limitations to that? How is it going to affect you moving forward? Because it could be something that's going to affect you today, or it could be something that's going to affect you in 5, 10, 15 years when the asset's worth a lot more. I've had being proactive, I need to be proactive in every area of my investing. So I need to make sure that my lawyer is proactive on every area of investing as well. Something finally, where I think that, two final things. One, a lot of people don't look at the risk and limitations of their purchasing. So what sort of risk can be associated? What sort of parameters and cushions can your lawyer put into place where your conveyancer may not be able to do so? Your lawyer or your solicitor can put these extra levels of protection in place when acquiring an asset, and as an ongoing part of managing your asset, having the lawyer there. The other aspect of it is and this is really, really important. I think that 99% of investors, probably not 99%, but probably 80% of people out there don't even think about is their own future, their own living self, their own preservation of wealth, their own preservation of their life's work, and what could you do beyond the grave? Might be a bit morbid, but for example, do you have a will? If you don't have a will, what's going to happen to your assets if something goes wrong? Touch wood that nothing does, but in an event of something, we're all not invincible. Things go wrong in life. What do you want to have as a legacy to leave on to your family, your children, your spouse, right? People become financially destitute when someone passes, and if they don't have a will, it could go to a public trustee. So it's recklessness. For a few $100, get a will, from enduring guardianship, from, if something becomes wrong and you become incapacitated, that person making, legal movements on your behalf and signing on your behalf. Who would you want to have look after you? It doesn't just mean to be assets. You could have zero assets. What about your super fund? What's going to happen to all the funds? What happens to your life insurance if you were to pass prematurely? What would happen to your children if something went wrong? Would they go to the wrong person? Who would they be? Who would be their carer? Who would help raise them? Would you want to be cremated, or would you want to be buried? These sorts of things that are people don't think about out there. If you've got a big social media following, who has the actual keys to your account? Who has the passwords to be able to control your image moving forward? They're things that, for intergenerational wealth, the things that the poor people don't think about. It's the things that the wealthy need to think about. And if you're a wealthy investor, if you want to be a successful investor, these are just the common sense things out there that a lot of people actually don't look at because they just go, it'll be all right, or whatever the case may be. Get it structured right, get it structured correctly, and make sure that you are protected, make sure that you got your family protected, make sure that your assets are protected. And if you set it up correctly, you can actually control things beyond the grave. If you look at famous celebrities and these people that run corporations and companies, they've made certain things that safeguard them, that if someone was to do something with their assets after they've gone, or their family, or their children, or their body, or whatever, they can't do that because they're controlled by the legal system. So yeah, lots of things out there that people make foolish decisions, or don't look at it, or oversights, which could hurt them in the long run. So on that front, if you need help, feel free to contact my office. I've got a law firm which is called Zenith Legal. If you need help, we cover end to end of the legal spectrum, not just property. We specialise in property, but we look at probates, wills, trustees, even down to, if you've been drink driving or whatever, criminal law. We look at family law. We've got specialists that look at corporation law and all that sort of stuff. So feel free, if you have any questions, send us an email, give us a call at the head office here, or look up Zenith Legal, where we can help out from all different angles of law. We'll catch up soon. Have a good day. Bye for now.